best human. Now it's the best human against the second best undead. Where Fortitude has a pretty good track record recently. 3 wins in a row. Can he make it 4 on this show match day? So apparently it's 4 best of 3s. We've seen 1. 3 more to come. And the big change, or one of the big changes already, we get a DK on 1-0 side. He's been playing that a bit more often. Tet Fiends instead of Lich Openers. Don't hate it. I think a well-timed Tet Fiend push can be incredibly strong. If you find your opponent's expansion, and that is the case. One to 0 also sounded very bad about this matchup, lol. I don't think 1-0 has the right to have an opinion, because for 4 years he's refusing to play Banshees, which is clearly the best unit of undead versus human by far. So that's a stylistic choice. So yeah, if you don't play the best option you got, then don't complain. I can see that it's very frustrating to play against tanks and gyros though. Might be a bit item dependent on what we got, a little bit of HP. This is classic 2014 undead gameplay. Build the DK, run across, harass the workers, delay the expo. Obviously, a solid nuke with coil, but we don't have the mana battery that a Lich provides. We only have single target, no AoE. So in general, this is all a little weaker. One to 0 knows more about the game than you. Well, is there a dispute that the Banshee is the best unit you can build against human or not? Like, do you really want to argue that 2 Abominations are better than 2 Banshees? Like, I know that he's better at the game, but I mean, you can't just apply logic.
Players' forces are under attack.
Nice timing though. Pump fake, holla! 40 with some excellent blast hitting here. DK didn't get much done. He only got 1 peasant at the very beginning. Love this newer style of the DK harass because we're pulling ghouls towards it. And that, of course, increases the damage by a lot instead of the Tet Fiend harass. This is clearly a new version. The DK opener. And this is very, very, very disruptive. Many workers going down. 40 is, of course, one of the best players ever to establish expansions and deal with worker losses and having the resource management. And now the time for ghouls is over because Water Elementals 2 are here.
A player's forces are under attack.
Thank you, blah bloop 9999 for the 69 month. Let's go. Thank you, thank you. So time to establish that base, but it is a big disparity. Disparate? Big difference Between the tech timings. And this is something 1-0 realized in a very smart fashion. You might not be able to compete with an Archmage no more. After that level 3. Which is true. Especially with ghouls instead of fiends. But if you don't go for the counter expansion, A, you don't give your opponent a point of attack. If he's not storming into your base, which exposes him to other stuff. And you get that huge tech lead. We've seen it multiple times last week that an undead had a 2 tech lead against human. And still lose. Yeah, that's the problem. If you base your game on one base only and the fast tech, you got one shot, 2 shot to break your opponent. This has to hit fast and hard. And I wonder, is it Dark Ranger or Pit Lord?
Forces are under attack.
And 40 is of course... Oh, sweet deny. 40 is trying to get that run by in to slow down 1-0, who didn't really have the forces to creep. Maybe he could have taken some ghouls off of lumber faster. But yeah, love the 40 distraction. Damage on statues after the ensnare, that is super bad. And super unlucky too. No ghoul frenzy, creep woken up, and the disruptive force, that is 40. Forcey. No master, right? No. Scourge Bone Chime's kinda nice. But nothing too spectacular. What's the third hero? Is it the Pit Lord? No, Dark Ranger. I feel like Pit Lord is better for the initial push. Dark Ranger is better for the longevity of the game. There's quite some towers. With masonry. One destroyer is up and hurt. Statue is down and hurt. I think this fortification is unbreakable. And 1-0 agrees. Also here, love the little space that he leaves to weaken the area of effect damage of destroyers. Yo. He ran across the map to no effect. And that's the downside of this tier 3 build. Now what? Where to go? What to do? How to transition? Finds the rune phrases, that's sweet, but it's gonna be triple knights and gyros because 1-0 refuses to play banshees. Now, it's also hard to transition, of course. Oh, that would help. Dodges the coil with the town port. Little greedy with that archmage, maybe. Did he get... Okay, for a heal scroll.
A town is under
But that's the
siege.
2 base, 1 base. That seems uncrackable. A big investment into towers, of course. So tier 3 was delayed, but gonna be up soon. Soul 8 Man, thank you very much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream with the Pala Rifle University. We're watching human versus undead show matches. Sock defeated Happy 2-0. And now 1-0 is struggling. Where's Fortitude? He's just waiting for the right moment. Wagon and Disease Cloud is probably the right follow-up if you don't want to go into mass destroyers. Because if you repair, workers are here, then Disease Cloud will be applied. Yo, that destroyer exposed. Super exposed. Come on, kill it. There you go. Dark Ranger, more or less surrounded. Nova hits hard. If we can turn all these workers into skeletons, there might be a chance, but the Dark Ranger Invoke Past is alive. Okay, quite an opener. Quite an opener. Disease Cloud still spread. 1-0 has a better shot at this than we initially thought. Maybe 40 pushing out a little too fast. He saw his shot, 40 did, but missed it. And so the push is alive. And that's the sweet damage over time. You don't have to destroy bases. All you gotta do is take mining away. Would of course be nice to kill the entire base, but boom! We are basically down to 1 base, 1 base. Still waiting for the Paladin. Game on the knife's edge here. Very sweet to snipe the wagon. But there is the second one. Do you have the damage to prevent... Yo, to prevent the Paladin? I think so. If you commit. But then you have to... Oh, there's no TP. Yo, he's super committed to this. And 40 with so many knights. Wouldn't it be nice to have Banshees now, huh? Trying to let the damage work over time, but yeah. I mean, Sundering Blades just shreds Fiends.
Town is under players' forces are under attack.
And 40 still knows his win condition. All he has to do is rebuild some workers and not lose the heroes. We dropping the belt in the middle of the fight. 40 swaggin'. We're just waiting for the next nuke, aren't we? 30 mana away from a bolt. And 1-0 is falling apart, I thought. And all of a sudden the Mountain King is back. 1-0. Trying his best, but Fiends just don't cut it against Knights. Knights cut it against Fiends. And it's only a level 1 hero, so recovery is easy. But Knights are suffering from the disease. No medicine with them.
A player's forces are under attack.
And again, he's trying with A-bombs. I'll never get it. I'll never, ever, ever get it. This doesn't counter Knights.
A player's forces are under attack.
I like the wagon And Disease Cloud, even though Disease Cloud is very expensive for a timing strategy. Because it hit the effect, like, you see it here. It's clearly noticeable how good it can be. But Abominations are basically big walking, stinking mana potions. At some point. But we don't even have Dark Ritual yet, so it's not even that. And he calls the game. GG. Couldn't break the base with the push. And that's what happens, man. Humans go 3-0 versus the undead in maps. That was painful. That push has to hit hard. The tier 3 push has to hit hard if you decide to go for a timing based strat like this. And it absolutely did not. Could you afford worms? Solid question, actually. Probably way too expensive and takes way too long. But in the next patch, might be food for thought. If you go Ted Fiends, then you should put pressure on the expansion. It wasn't Ted Fiends. It was... I don't know how we call it. Happy Ghouls? Harass Ghouls? Can someone come up with a cool name for this strat? Ooh, Lost Temple. Is it Dreadlord time, baby? Then why fast graveyard? Because you got the resource anyway and you get faster lumber. I guess. Good question, actually. But that would be my guess. Dreadlord, it is. Let's go. Ah, fine. And we got cross position, thankfully. I might call it fast DK opener into Ghoul Destroyer tier 3 timing attack. Rolls of the tongue, Reborn. Very creative. It's the DK Express. I like that. Side, are you allowed to pawk over a Dreadlord? After you betrayed the Scourge? I don't know. You have earned that right? And debatable. Debatable. Can't say no to you though. And then we go into a more... Well, it's so weird to say that this is the more standard game. But 2-base 2-base is kind of more of a standard game. Just with the Dreadlord twist. And that is obviously the hard counter to mech later. But the Dreadlord is slow. Very slow. How do you cross the map when it's cross? You can gobble up
A player's forces are
the
under
troll to the temple. That is super fast. Gyros so cheap. Gyros are the most expensive unit per supply in the game. That is an uncontested free level 3.
A player's forces
Interesting to see that 120 is holding the skill point for Carrion Swarm or get him! Ay! Oh my god. Sleep wasted. That's not allowed to happen. Unfortunately. Archmage boots, staff, footman in position, 1 footman saved. Positioning around the temple and this expo is up. On the other side, and that expo is also up. Okay, is he getting in?
A player's forces are under attack.
Not the greatest game for 120 so far. I respect the Dreadlord, and of course Dreadlord scales into the late game. Now the denies are looking fine. But overall, 40 killed more. 40 got the expo up earlier. 40 got an uncontested 5-minute tech. And another ghoul. I feel like we're at a stage of a game where you can't contest level 2 water elementals. And you know, I'm not too vocal about it. Because whenever I propose nerfs to human, I'm getting a lot of hate online. But it might be time to nerf level 2 water elementals. By a bit. But yeah, I don't see this game as very successful for 120. His tech is coming too, triple crypt on the way. But he's soon gonna be supply stuck, especially if you cancel, oh my god, if you cancel these ziggurats. I wouldn't be too surprised to see an early 120 tap out, to be honest. I mean, sometimes you're obviously forced to fight with ghouls into water elementals, but if you have a choice, you shouldn't really be going for it. And footman attacks onto Acolyte. Oh, this is all so expensive. And this early game is about accumulating resources. You just press the buttons once you arrive on tier 2, which is now, and then tier 3 obviously. Oh, 40 and Sock both put on a freaking clinic today. Beat the water elemental away, that's finally level 3. There's a town portal staff. Staff could be interrupted with sleep, of course. So it has to be a TP event.
A player's forces are under attack.
Actually. Huh? Not a perfect 120 performance so far. Far from it, actually. And 40 loves his griffins. There we go. Triple Griffin Aviary, Mountain King out, tier 3 on the way.
Player's forces are under attack.
These humans are smoking undead today. Couldn't Carrion Swarm into sleep into Carrion Swarm, kill the Archmage. At least force a Town Portal, right? Or staff cooldown or something. Can the Carrion Swarm be the disruptive force that it needs to be? He got a Mana Stone. That's fantastic. And now he's fighting against this Water Elemental again. Sleep? Oh, potion first. At least he's dodging that. But instead of forcing a TP, he's forcing his own TP with the arrival of a Mountain King. And Footmen are currently dominating this game. We go triple Rax Ghouls.
Player's forces are under attack.
Huh. It's 17 ghouls. Okay.
A player's forces are under attack.
Um, 40 is on tier 3. 40 will have griffins. And all that 1-0 has to offer is 17 ghouls. Time to do some damage now, I guess. Before the griffins are here. For now it's 6 Gargs only. 6 Dragonhawks only. And there's nothing. Why are you fighting? There's nothing you can attack right now. Waiting for the Gargs. But these are in such low numbers that you can just shackle them. Archmage is now forced into a TP. Gargs appear. Oh, 6 schools falling. Ooh, don't tell this to Remo. But 1-0 gets the fountain, and I don't think he's gonna get the game. Tier 3 finish on both heads. Dreadlord Dark Ranger feeling forced into the silence against the shackles. But the Dark Ranger isn't here yet. It's just hero focus, but it's such a pathetic attempt. Or is it? Wait. Nope. Freeing his way. There's nothing on the ground anymore. And shackle, shackle, shackle. So shackle. And thanks to a Holy Light, everything is fresh again. Twice the supply. Yo, 1-0 in your game for a sock. You gotta step up your game, brother. No DK. No Lich. And he's up against 11 Dragonhawks. Cloud applied onto the gold mine. This is the 4th human win in a row. And keeps the surround stuck. There's a potion. No way out. Dreadlord can't swim through the elementals. Nice to see that he didn't fall into griffins, but could just Dragonhawks. Just mass Dragonhawks. Tri-hero Dragonhawks. 40 playing a fine game. And 1-0 just couldn't answer. 40 is a level above 1-0 at this point.